And it's very important to not leave halfway through this.
And I'm like, that would be the worst. Can you imagine you came all the way here to dump the trash and then to take it all the way back home?
From that moment forward for the rest of the journey, it was just truth. My truth, the truth, seeing things very clearly.
This is your unique road, and the medicine is meeting you right where you're at.
I'm just gonna try to open up and just surrender. That's all.
I realized that I am not in control.
That was really, really intense.
This is spiritual exhaustion.
Yeah. Still drunk, frankly.
Having completed their first plant medicine ceremony, my 5 students embark on a life-altering journey, one that empowers their souls, uncovers their love blocks, breaks down their barriers, and guides them towards the answers they seek. What made you stay?
What made me stay?
Yeah.
I guess I just was like, oh, I'll see how things go today.
Today?
Yeah. I'll see how things go today. But that, it's spot on. It was like I was Christ consciousness, like Christ, like trying, like it was like I kept getting dark arts. It wasn't good.
One of the things that I want you guys to realize, that the energy that you were seeing, you were releasing it from yourself. Now, wait until you really accept that.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway was that I just kept leaning in to the dark side. We were in a talk yesterday during the day, and someone said, you know, you could go to the light and to the rainbow, Skittle rainbow, or you could go look at the dark stuff. And I chose to go to the dark stuff because I've spent most of my life trying to avoid it. And so a lot of time and resources and money have been spent to be here, and I think that I needed to dive all in. I didn't come this far to come this far, and so just keep leaning to the uncomfortable because it's not going to last forever. It's only temporary. But a lot of tears were shed, a lot of purging was shed, but it was so worth it in every way, shape, or form.
Did you want to quit?
Yeah, I packed all my shit and went to the front desk to check out this morning.
All right, Victoria, how are you feeling?
Amazing.
You look amazing. I just have 2 questions.
Of course.
What insights or realizations did you have during the journey?
Ooh, I had so many. I am still processing everything. As I mentioned in the group, I had kind of a Disney experience with mine. I think too it was a measure of learning that I can trust this situation, because it was very comforting for me and very happy. Even though there were some things that could have been scary, the way that it was done was so not. I had eye surgery, I had heart surgery. I learned a lot of things on who I've become. But it was done in a way that is very it was very comforting. And so for me, I went into it with surrender, but I was wavering on the trust, and this showed me the trust. We had ceremony last night for the first time, and as you can see, I'm down for the count. Many people are down for the count. But I did get up and go to all the events and classes today, which were super helpful and made me less worried about tonight. So last night, I was nauseous the whole time, and I noticed like a lot of little noises really bothered me, which they normally do anyway.
but it was all amplified then. And once I finally purged, she said, all right, let's go, let's have some fun. And then I just started seeing like colors and different scenes, and she was moving so fast, and I was like, can you slow down? I'm gonna throw up. And she's like, so she paused everything, and she's like, all right, throw up. And I was like, well, I'm not ready. And she's like, all right, we're gonna keep going. And so I got to see a lot of really cool, interesting scenes where she showed me, like, you can create whatever you want in your life. You can create it, you can destroy it, you have the power to do it. And it was also nice to know that when I said keep going or slow down, that I was totally in control. I also got a message last night that was like, no harm will come to me. And so I think last night's journey was a lot about trust, and yeah, it was super interesting. And I did not feel well most of the day today. But I ate lunch. I had a light lunch, chicken noodle soup that was gluten-free, thank God. And then we're gonna go to class, and then we'll have tonight's ceremony.
This group has shown incredible courage, despite their fears. Every single one has chosen to stay and continue the journey. Together, they're on the path to uncovering a love so deep and transformative, it has the power to change their lives forever. And trust me, the best is yet to come.
I had a rough night last night. It was painful and heartbreaking and scary. And I kept praying to be protected. And I wonder what I got myself into. Because I ain't never been adjacent to anything like that ever. And I've been of two minds trying to figure out like what is real, what's fake, what's right, up, down, you know, trying to figure that out. And obviously I cried during it, which is absolutely different from the day before when it was all intellectual. But I kept saying in my head was hell no, nope, hell no, hell no, none of this. I'm a little wound up. I'm sorry. We were probably, y'all saw me. We were probably maybe 85% of the way through, and I had to get up and pace.
Yeah.
Where? Back of the room.
Here?
In the back of the room.
Yeah, I saw you.
I was pacing. Why am I pacing? Well, you know, I have my nervous system is lit totally up, and I had this feeling of, okay, I'm doing this, but this is a lot.
Then you're like, okay, what do I need to do so I can be present? Present to give and present to receive for myself, right? So then when we can go into them a little bit early. Now it's like, how do I get myself in this space? How do I allow myself to surrender? How do I allow myself to be open? How do I allow myself to be able to participate in everything, right? How do I really show up for myself? What would I need to see before I started this process? After the ceremony, you are going to be feeling all kinds of different things. Each and every one of you. You're going to be feeling different kind of emotions. You might be out of it.
Nicole, are you looking for a bed for Nicole? You can do her hair.
I hope tonight goes better than yesterday.
As this journey unfolds, you've seen how night 1 at Rhythmia introduced my students to the life-changing power of ayahuasca. This was not their first step in healing. Boss Diva University had already guided them through profound transformation, helping them release love blocks and embrace their authentic selves. Yet even the gentlest moments of that first night shook their foundations, preparing them for an experience that reaches beyond the conscious mind. Now, it's time for their second ceremony, aptly called Going Deeper. While this sacred experience remains private, I can share the essence of what they face. A fearless descent into the depths of their fears, the unveiling of hidden hopes, and the confrontation of their deepest truths. It's a raw, humbling process that challenges, awakens, and transforms. This is not just a step forward. It's the turning point where the roots of true healing, empowerment, and liberation are planted, far beyond the reach of the conscious mind alone.
And then, so how would you compare last night to Monday night?
No comparison. Monday night, I was miserable. I wanted to go home. I was trying to figure out how to leave without nobody finding out. I was nauseous the entire time. I threw up multiple times. And Tuesday night, it was just like, I was just being held in a cocoon and space was being held for me. Yeah, still drunk, frankly. I feel okay though. I'm just a little spinny. That's what I mean by drunk. Not, my equilibrium's off a little bit.
And it's very important to not leave halfway through this.
Right.
That's someone's own fear. It's okay. I mean, it's surfacing.
Yeah.
So when somebody wants to run and check out early, they always can if they want to. But we know that they're right in the middle of their process. That's what that means, yeah.
And I'm like, that would be the worst. Can you imagine you came all the way here to dump the trash and then to take it all the way back home?
Yeah.
You know what the pain feels like.
That's right.
You know what that life looks like.
That's right.
So you might as well keep going.
Absolutely. Now, the problem I see is that people, when they lose the crutches they've been using for 20 years, they're scared to do that because they don't necessarily have the confidence yet to walk without the wheelchair or walk without the crutches.
Yes.
Right. So what we do here at Rhythmia, as you know, is we help people develop new tools of coping with life that they can start using and building confidence in when they get home.
Right.
Wherever you're at, it's perfect. Remember we talked about journey and leading. This is your unique road, and the medicine is meeting you right where you're at. And whatever is coming up is a reflection of something that's seeking to be healed. So I promise you that this is not exhaustion, even though you haven't had much sleep. This is spiritual exhaustion. I promise you, if you're woozy and you kind of feeling, this isn't sickness because you ate something. This is the medicine is working to extract something. Everything is working together.
Why is it so important to heal the traumas and to allow ayahuasca to help you to do so in order for you to be able to receive love, especially for women with what you've observed?
I believe it, and I believe it's equal for men, that most men can't receive love. Because these traumas encapsulated us at a particular age. So you know, our growth got stymied at 5 years old or 4 years old or 9 years old. And there's that part of that person that wants desperately to be loved but can't allow it to happen. So that's right there, you're in park. You know, that you can't get out of park.
Right.
Because you can't go anywhere.
Because you're still stuck at 9 or
Well,
3 or wherever the trauma happened.
You want something that you won't allow yourself to have. I want to be loved, but I won't allow myself to have it. And I really, these people are not kind of wanting love.
Right.
They're dying to be loved, but not allowing themselves to have it. They're stuck in park, and this just puts you in drive.
Right.
And you can, and listen, once they do the medicine, most people fall in love and make mistakes and done, but they're actually living life. They're allowing love to be their ceremony, you know?
I love that.
The intention I set today was heal my heart. And I feel like because it's ladies' night that it'll be very feminine, and I feel like that's a really good place to do that.
The breath work has started to help me see that there are things that I can envision, and I also have decided that I'm not going to try to like analyze it. Like, you know, I don't need to think about, is it real or is it fake or is it just my imagination? It doesn't matter. What matters is that sometimes going through the visionary experience often results in me feeling resolved about things, and that's powerful. So I'm just going to try to open up and just surrender. That's all. That's what I'm kind of facing.
But there's still some nervousness.
Yeah, it's just the unknown. And, you know, one of the things that he talked a lot about was the ways in which this experience has affected people in a really positive way. And I really want those things. And also I'm trying not to want it too much. Yeah. That it doesn't, you know, that I set up expectations for myself, right?
As the sun sets, the third evening marks a pivotal moment in their journey, a sacred celebration of the divine feminine through communion with the spirit of Mother Ayahuasca. At Boss Diva University, profound healing and transformation have already laid the foundation, empowering students to release love blocks and step into their authentic selves. Yet tonight, they embark on an even deeper journey, one that transcends the conscious mind, reaching realms where true, lasting transformation resides. The divine feminine embodies nurturing wisdom and the transformative power of life's eternal cycles: birth, death, and rebirth. Through her, we reconnect to our shared essence, embracing self-love as the cornerstone of universal love. She calls us to break through the unseen barriers that limit our growth and connection. In this sacred recalibration, students experience a profound inner shift, a powerful awakening capable of reshaping not only their inner worlds, but also the lives they touch. This is where true healing, empowerment, and liberation takes root.
So last night was Wednesday night, and that was really, really intense. I eventually made my way outside on accident. One of the bathrooms inside wasn't available, so one of the helpers took me outside, and then I was like, can I just lay out here? It's so hot. And I'm so uncomfortable. And so she made me a bed in the grass, and I started shaking, and my hand was shaking like this, and then it was like flailing everywhere, and then my leg was shaking, and all on my right side where I've had a moped accident, and my hip was hurting, and it was like pink neon lights that were flowing through me, and just like it felt like it was trying to get out, but it stayed like that for hours and hours and hours. And I was outside, and I raised my hand, and I said help, and I didn't think anybody heard me. And this guy who was throwing up in the grass next to me heard me, and he goes, do you need help? And I said yes, and he went and got help for me. And it's so nice to have a man around who just wants to help you. And so they went and got me help, and a couple helpers came over, and they said, oh my gosh, you have so much energy. And I said, I'm so uncomfortable. And my hand was still just shaking and shaking and shaking. My leg was shaking and shaking and shaking. And they brought some people out, and then they brought one of the shamans out. They brought Raven out, and she tried to, she blew tobacco into me all along my knee and my hip, and my ribs, my hand, and then she put her hand, I think, like around this area, around my ribs, and all I could feel was like this, like coolness and like rainbow infinity light, I guess is the best way. Like if you ever seen Thor, it's like the gate. That's what it looked like. And for a moment I calmed down, and there was people like putting water on my feet and like I think just trying to cool me down. And I said, I don't think this is going to be over anytime soon. And she said, okay, I'll be back. And I must have gone and talked to the shaman, and the shaman asked me to come in and said, if you can go in, the shaman wants to see you. And I was like, okay. And so I had 2 people help me get back into the Maloka, and I sat in front of the shaman, and she blew smoke on me, and what I'm going to describe as fire water. So I had fire water on my face, on my head, all up my arm, down my chest, down my back, across my hips, and she was like praying into my heart, and she had a feather, and she was saying a prayer into my head, I think, and she was speaking directly to my heart, like her head was like right here, and just talking to my heart and talking to my heart. And then after what seemed like a really long time, she said, you have too many emotions that are stuck in your body, and Mother Aya is trying to get them out, and you need to accept that this is part of your healing, and you need to accept your emotions. And she said, you need to feel. And I thought in my head in that instance, I was like, okay, I feel. And my body calmed down almost immediately. And then it kept going. I started again. I was just like crying this whole time. And I was trying to breathe and trying to regulate. And eventually she got me to a point where I calmed down enough. And then I was like, yep, I'm gonna throw up now. And I threw up like right in her lap, and like in a bucket. And she just kept saying, like, you have to accept your feelings. You have too many feelings in your body. And she's like, okay, you're good. And then took me back to my bed. And that's where I stayed. And yeah, it was a really intense night. And I'm really looking forward to tonight, but I would love to not have another intense night, if I'm being honest. And but it sounds like it's gonna be, and we have Tito Juanito here today, so we get separated, I think, by intention tonight. So yeah, should be interesting, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that Shay suggested we stay and go, because it was a completely different atmosphere. That shift was amazing and gave me insights on how the different energies affected me between day to day.
I think last night the energy, as Kelly mentioned, was restful, and it was soft, and it felt a little bit more like we were being cared for and caressed, you know what I mean, emotionally. The pace change allowed me to do some processing of some pretty heavy stuff from the previous day, and I was able to actually like sort of mentally reflect on what the lessons were that I was getting out of what had happened prior.
I think the big thing for me last night was the fact that I was really in it. I enjoyed the dancing. I actually really enjoyed myself versus was concerned about all of these other things physically going on. So I actually didn't end up having any major physical negative, what would be seen as negative or uncomfortability. I really was, I don't know if I was just used to the how it rolls at this point, but I really was living it up last night. So
I realized that I am not in control and that the downloads and the information that I was receiving happened in their time, not in mine. Something that was one of the first initial pieces of information that I received was that I'm a liar and that I was protecting myself and the little white lies I told myself to make my situation or my childhood or whatever seem more glamorous or more beautiful than necessarily it was holding me back and hindering me from my truth. And so just really from that moment forward for the rest of the journey, it was just truth. My truth, the truth, seeing things very clearly. And there was a lot of purging that happened along with that in the most beautiful way possible. But it was definitely an incredible realization that I don't think I was ready for, but very much needed.
I'm incredibly proud of my students for their courage to stay for 2 more ceremonies, breaking barriers and embracing the divine feminine energy of Mother Ayahuasca. Now, they prepare for the final night, Night 4, the Celestial Party, a transformative celebration and the culmination of their profound journey. How will this ultimate experience shape their lives? Don't miss the final chapter of her healing journey, love, transformation, and the power of plant medicine.